Hi everybody, this is Mr. 409 again. This is our new project. Now the last couple of radios that we've posted on the website since we've started this website thing, you've kind of seen an abbreviated version of what happens when we build a radio. And a lot of guys ask me, you're talking about parts pile radios, you really don't pull them out of the parts pile. So this is what we're going to do for you guys. This is the next project. We're going to build this one just because we got enough parts laying around and we can. This is what we're starting with, folks. It's a damn shame what somebody's done to this radio. This was a Cobra 2000. Okay. As you can see, it's been pretty well raped and pillaged to the highest degree of rape and pillagement. The chassis is rough. It's been cut up. Looks like somebody's put a newer style board in it one time. Channel display is all busted. The radio's shot. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. I mean, you gotta. This is what we're starting with, folks. This is out of the parts pile. Okay. Now what we're gonna do is it's nothing more than what the manufacturers do. We happen to have a very cool old President Grant, which is a decent old sideband radio. It's got a D858 chip in it. And let me find a way to set this up over here. We're just going to set this here and let it hang. Sorry about the video, guy. Right here. Here's the chassis. We're going to take this mobile and we're going to gut it. Now, this is a perfectly functional mobile. It's got channels, and variable AM power, sidebands. It's an old President Grant, but as you can see, it's a little beat up. The top and bottom cases are even worse. But here's the thing: it's as a collector's piece. I mean, there are some guys that would say, "Oh, don't tear that radio up. You're nuts." You can't see the crack in the freaking front, and if you saw the top and the bottom, it's really bad. The meter's stuck, but the chassis is intact, and the chassis runs. The chassis works. The chassis does like 20, 30 watts. Okay. That stupid hanging speaker they put in this thing, I never did like that. This is going in this box. We are actually gonna put an internal. This is a Cobra 2000 case that we're gonna build this in, and it never had a internal speaker. So that is our chassis. What we are going to put on it eventually will be one of these power supplies will be built onto it, just like on this guy. This is a 30 amp self-regulated switch mode power supply. It cools itself, protects itself, runs itself, and that's the good. So when we're done, this Cobra 2000 will no longer be a Cobra 2000. We'll redo. This is a restoration, folks. This is going to be a total build. We're going to take this panel here. We're going to take this ugly old panel. We're going to do something with it. Don't know what yet. You're going to take this ride with us, and we're going to build it as we go along. And we're going to post the videos, and you can watch what's going to happen. Right now, my next task is to gut this thing, because I have to start off with a clean nothing. The radio will be... I mean, don't get me wrong, I didn't build the actual chassis. Uniden did. But what Uniden did also when they built their Uniden Washington base station was took that Uniden, that President Grant chassis, put it in a box with a power supply, and they called it a base. That's all it is, guys. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to build a radio. We're going to take their chassis. We're going to put a kick-ass power supply on it. And also, in the bottom of this radio will be a 100-watt Stinger board. Now, I don't know how much power we're going to get out of that board with the Grant chassis. The one thing we've learned with the Stinger board we're using, it's a great little Stinger board. However, from radio to radio, it does have a little bit of variance. It really is depending upon the drive it gets. The board we're using is designed for 40 watts of drive, and even if I was putting in a 2000 where you realistically get 12, 15 watts of swing unless you've done some really silly stuff to it. And when you do that, they don't last long. But if you've done the realistic, proper conversions to them, you're going to get, 15, maybe 20 watts out of them. And out of the Stinger board, though, we turn that down because when we put the Stinger board in 2000, we run them about 40 watts. Now, I don't know what we're going to run this one at because I don't know what the draw on the chassis is going to be until I get, to the point where we've got what a car guy would call a rolling chassis. So this is what we're starting with. For all those who don't believe this is what we do, pay attention. Because when this radio is done, everybody that's been watching this is going to go, damn. And this radio will be for sale. So take a look. This is where we're at. And take the journey with us, and we'll show you where it's going to be. And what 409 Radios does to poor, classic old stuff. Bad part about it is this was a kick-ass bass, and that was a kick-ass mobile at one time. And now they're just, collector's pieces to some people. So we're going to take them both again. We're going to make the case functional with a new chassis, some upgraded stuff, and make it a modern, kick-ass channeled 100 watt. Hopefully, I'm hoping to get 100 watts out of this one. I'm not guaranteeing it yet. I'm realistically, in my brain, the math tells me I'm going to get about 50, 60 watts out of the Grant chassis driving our Stinger board. So anyway, this is what it's not going to be a 2000 anymore. We're going to re-letter it. This one's going to be a true 409 restoration, rebuild. I don't know what we're going to call it. I don't know what it's going to look like when it's done. There may be switches. There may be, it's definitely going to have at least a 5-digit counter. Both meters are going to go back in. We've established that. But we're going to change a few other things. We may eliminate the power, all the switch bank. Here, it's a clean slate. So it's all left up to, my engineering skills and what I can do with the pile of parts that God's given me to work with. So sit back and laugh right now and look at it and go, that ain't ever going to be nothing. And watch as these videos come up on the website, folks, because proof's in the pudding. God bless you guys. Have a good day. The next video is coming up. It'll be the next stage, which will be the gutted chassis, and we'll tell you where we're going from there.